Administration pinagdali sa may subang kasalukuyan at politika, opinyon, komentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang. Okay, check-in time. Time natin ay 46. Okay, pasado po alas 7 ang programa natin. Na pasensya kayo, mahirap mahirap po makakonect sa internet. Okay. So, ay mabuti po makalive din tayo, no? Okay, panggabi, kahit medyo delay ang programa. Okay, hindi ko kasalanan. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Good evening. Okay, kumusta kayo dito sa gabing ito, no? Okay, kumusta? Okay, sa mga minorities, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, magprograma tayo, no? Ganun lang yan. Ayan. Hirap makakonect po mga kababayan, no? Mahinang pasok ng data. Ang kasalukuyan at politika, opinyon, komentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang. Okay, pangunahing balita natin, business establishment warn versus non-compliance with regulation. Okay, mga suki, mga bayan, no? Okay, so yan po ang unahin balita natin. Sa lahat po, magnegosyo po rito sa Zamboanga, no? Kailangan po ay mag-comply tayo, no? Okay. Hindi po pwede hindi mag-comply, no? Ako talagang bilang law-abiding citizens ay mag-comply talaga ng mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Hindi kayo maging problema sa akin, no? Pero kung may utang ako, ito ang buhay ngayon. Okay. Kanina po, magbayad ako ng 6,420, no? Okay, sa mga papeles ng negosyo, mga suki, no? 6,000 tumataganting 420. Ayan. Basta lang makakomply. Ayan. Talagang kailangan mo. Yan, no? Okay.
approved company registration number. Ayan, sarili ito mga kababayan. No? Hindi ko lang magitin ng number. Certificate of Incorporation. Okay, Minded Global Food Lines, MGF, OPC. One-person corporation doing business under the name and style of a Minded Global Food Lines. 6,000, okay, 420 binayad ko kanina, no? Papeles lang ito. Okay, ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, ayan ang negosyo ito since 204. Okay, 204 pa. Okay, ay lugi, tubo, lugi, tubo. Ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan, no? So, from single proprietorship, ito po ang DTI niya. Okay, January 27 po na concept. Ayan, 203, 204. 204 ang mga kababayan. Na ilang taon na yun? And then itong DTI niya, okay, mag-expire po sa 2028, no? Okay, mauna po, lalabas po bago ay paalam po ang Pangulo mo po mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, sa city government ng Zamboanga, okay, mag-comply kami. Pero kung may problema kami sa mga taxes, okay, dahan-dahan na namin po ay babayaran mga kababayan, no? Okay, may mga kumpanya, may mga utang taxes, babayaran namin. Promise. Ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Wag lang kami wag lang isara ang negosyo namin kung obligation po sa mga taxes, no? Local taxes. Bayad kami. Promise. Nakarikatuloy nga kanina, no? 6,420 ang binayad ko po sa ito lang. Ito lang po mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Basta lang mag-comply mga suki, no? 6,420, no? Ayan. So mabigat po sa bulsa, pero tiniis mo kahit mabigat sa bulsa, no? Basta lang permit. Ayan. Hindi ka makanegosyo. Ayan. So sinisikap natin, okay, makomply po ang kailangan po ng reglamentaryo, okay, ng mga city government, no? Ayan. Okay, sa halo-halo special opinion balita at iba pa, kasama po sa serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan. Okay? Pati sa mga mensahe, kasama na rin po mga suki. No? So basahin natin. Business establishment warn versus non-compliance with the regulation. No? Ayan. Kailangan talaga magbayad. Okay, so meron mga pwede po meron mga conditions sa mga permit, no? Okay, ang deadline hanggang June katapusan mga kababayan, no? Okay, hanggang Hunyo katapusan. Pag hindi ka makabayad, multiple po ang bayad mo, no? So, ganun po. So, habulin namin na okay, hanggang June 30 po makabayad kami, no? Okay, sa mga negosyo namin po mga suki. Okay, partial by anong tawag yan? By quarter. Tinamaan tayo ng pandemic Ayan, tinamaan tayo ng pandemic, no? Okay, so kailangan may consideration po ang city government of Zamboanga, no? Ayan. Ayan, business establishment operating here in the city are reminded to comply with the city regulation or risk losing their privilege of doing business in Zamboanga, no? Okay, wag naman. Makiusap tayo. Ayan, mahirap po. Wala tayong hanap buhay mga suki, no? This after is a series of inspection conducted by the local task force, TF. Okay, Buenas uncovered violation committed by the night spot, hotel, motel, lodging houses, saunas, and other similar establishments. Speaking before members of the local media during Monday press briefing, okay, City Licensing Officer Benji, okay, Barredo, Benji Barredo shared that of a 61 covered establishment inspected on 3 separate occasions, many were operating without required permits, were not compliant with the Presidential Decree 1096, okay, otherwise known as the National Building Code, no? So yan, mga sauna po ang hindi na-comply, no? Okay, mga sauna. Okay, hindi naman ako mag-sauna, no? Okay, hindi naman mag-motel. Ayan. So, ayan po ang balita dito, no? Okay, sandali lang. Ayan. Sandali lang. Okay. Correct muna, no? Ayan. Ano yun? Okay. So, kailangan comply. Okay, some business permit, some are operating without occupational permit, some permit are not according to the line of business, some have no sanitary permit, okay, no health card, some have no building permits and occupancy permit and other delinquencies under the Building Code of the Philippines, no, were noted. The city official enumerated, no? Doon sa 2 taon po mga kababayan, problema. Kaya nagkaloko-loko po mga negosyo, no? Okay, dapat nga may tulong eh. Okay, matagal na sinasabi natin dapat may tulong, no? Okay, pero wala man. Okay, where he assured that airing establishment would be given many opportunities, tama, to rectify their lapses, no? This does not mean the city of the government will continue to turn a blind eye. Oh, salamat po mga kababayan, no? Okay. Huwag naman blind eye, no? Okay, Barredo explain. Tadali kita 3 notice, no? Notices. After 3rd notice without action, okay, on the end of the business operator we will forward the matter to city legal office, no? Okay, which includes, which will investigate. Okay, si Chene, ya kita ilo opinion, okay, from the legal office, then we'll win. Okay, the adjudication committee when man reckon kami for appropriate action. 3 beses, no? Okay, tasigi, kita el procedure, it does not mean nuay pa kami taas ni Nada Stewart. Okay. T.F. Buenas was reconstituted last April by virtues of Executive Order number JD 2023-038. It is tasked to regularly inspect all night spot hotels, motels, and lodging houses, saunas, and other similar establishment for compliance with the city regulation, including policies on sanitation and health safety, among others. No? Okay, sa negosyo ko, hindi po nakapasok dito, no? Okay, hindi po nakapasok. Ayan. Microphone ng negosyo ko. Okay. Pati itong Mind of Global Food Lines, no? Okay. So, yan po ang unang balita. Okay, sa kaming ito tungkol po sa negosyo, no? Okay. Sandali lang.
Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakamuhan, at walang pinapamigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahaminan at trabaho lamang.
Ayan. So ano po ang susunod na gawin natin, no? Kakanta tayo, no? Okay. Nako. Ay,
Imagine you have $10,000 in cash sitting in your bank account. You think you're being smart and safe by keeping your money in cash, right? Wrong. In fact, you're losing money every day without...
Bakit yan pumasok? Mahina ang internet mo. Ako, wala na. Okay. Sandali lang. Okay, sure na balita natin na ano po, si Oh,
Ang Bureau Administration din ng balita ay tumatalakay sa may subang kasalukuyan at nakapagkatin ng mga komentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakay, public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
okay, ayun po sa balita talks with a lot all intensified negotiation for additional parking lots. No? Kulang pa rin ang parking lot. Okay, dito po ayan. Okay, Mayor John M. Daliper during a huddle with the department head on Monday. Morning revealed the negotiation with the private lot owners for the provision of additional parking spaces, okay, in the city are aggressively being pursued. Okay, the mayor said this as the city government through the city administrator's office undertake a no let campaign against the ordinance 601 in accordance with the DIRG Memorandum Circular, no? Okay, napakabigat ito mga kababayan, no? Okay, very stricto itong Ordinance 601, no? Ayan. Okay, so, itong balita, no?
Ang Provincial Registration Opinion balita at ibabahan ay tumatalakay sa may subang kasalukuyan at makapolitika, makaopinyon, makakomentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang pinapanggihan, at walang pinapamigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, Memorandum Circular 2016 121, no? The road clearing later this week. Okay, the campaign will expand to Pilar Street and the said among the areas that the city intends to convert into public parking space at the vacant land, okay, located beside the former chocolate restaurant in Valderosa Street, the vacant lot fronting Police Station 11, and beside the Metro Bank, Governor Lim, Brand, and several others, no? At present, among the parking lots that the city negotiated for use, okay, by the public are the private property in Ledesma Street, the areas in J.S. Alano, besides Supper Plaza, and the other public property fronting Plaza Persing, among others. Kaya pala, okay, marami na po sasakyan dyan mga suki, no? Ayan. So, yan po ang nangyari po mga suki-suki natin, no? Ayan.
Ang Provincial Registration Opinion balita at ibabahan ay tumatalakay sa may subang kasalukuyan at napakamuan. Makapolitika, makaopinyon, makakomentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y patas sa lahat. Walang
National Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, where they are bought and sold by individual investors. Public non-traded REITs are also registered with the SEC, but don't trade on national securities. Private REITs aren't registered with the SEC and don't trade on national securities exchanges. Number 2, exchange-traded funds or long-term index funds. Exchange-traded funds, also known as ETFs, just as the name implies, is a type of fund traded on an exchange, just like stocks. ETFs hold several underlying assets and are designed to mostly trace a certain index, commodity, or sector. Most people are not aware that an ETF can own several thousand individual investments. However, when an individual invests in an ETF, he doesn't own the underlying assets, but the units in the ETF. The ETF is only owned by the ETF provider. Then these units can be further created or redeemed to tally with the demands of the investor. You can equally consider investing in a long-term index fund. An index fund is a type of ETF that seeks to trace market indices. If you happen to calculate your investments properly, the best index funds will help you diversify your portfolio and build wealth while minimizing your fees. One very unique thing about index fund investing is that it has low risks because it holds so many securities. Also, it spreads your investment risks across different bonds and stocks of different companies. Index funds use a regulation-based and automated investment strategy, which automatically delete emotions-based investment decisions. As a result of this, the amount of investment is usually specified. This has been considered one of the smartest ways of investing. However, it is not a short-term passive income generation idea. But if you have 10 years from 2023 to invest money to eventually build passive income, then index fund investing is for you. Number 3, dividend stocks. Dividends are profits a company pays out to its shareholders. If you are able to build a significant number of shares over time, dividends can be a dependable source of passive income for you. This is because some companies pay dividends to their shareholders on a regular basis. This is a very brilliant investment strategy for 2023. You can gradually buy dividend stocks and partially reinvest. These will compound over time and you'll start enjoying your passive income. The beauty of investing in dividend stocks is, as the company grows, you'll keep getting a regular supply of money, even as your underlying stocks keep increasing in value. Nevertheless, this doesn't mean that there are no risks attached. Here's the thing, just like any other stock, dividend stocks can depreciate in value. But if you look at the brighter side, they are usually very good to buy and hold for a long time. If you are willing to calculate and understand the risks involved, you can consider investing your extra cash. According to Robert Kiyosaki, in order to maximize dividend income, investors must select stocks wisely. Number 4, private equity. If you do not have enough capital to start up an investment of your own, you're not left out. You can consider financing or funding a private business that you believe is capable of generating income in the future. You can decide to invest in a friend's business with an agreement to benefit from its future profits. However, never invest more than you can afford to lose. This is because no matter how big or small the business is, it is risky to invest in a single business as there is no complete guarantee of success. However, individuals with very high net worth can invest.
Okay, basta advice lang, no? Huwag kayo mag-invest talaga yung single investment lang, no? Patay kayo. Okay, patay po kayo pag magkamali kayo dyan, no? Hurut tanan. Okay, hurut tanan po ang kwarta, no? Okay, pag mag-invest kayo sa single platform lang o single investment firm, okay, pag bumagsak po, patay kayo. Kailangan mo at least mga 20 platform, no? Okay, kalat-kalat po ang inyong pera. Okay, para hindi kayo kaluoy, mga kababayan, no? 20 platform na may tamang-tama. Hindi lahat yan, okay, bumagsak, no? Hindi talaga. Okay, sa aking experience, okay, pag meron ka mga ganun na maka-invest ka mga 20 platform, okay, may bagsak. 2, 3, pero majority po ay ikita, mga kababayan, no? Okay, kaya nga, tama rin itong advice niya. ni Robert Kiyosaki dapat hindi single investment, no? Kasi kung single investment, pag bumagsak, parang nahulugan ka ng lette. Okay, ng lette. Ayan po mga suki, na. So, sundin lang. Okay, at least lang mga 12, kung hindi na kaya mga 20, mga 12 platform po. Okay. Mag-invest kayo, no? Okay. So, ganoon po ang technique, no? Okay, lalo na po sa mga mutual fund, yung sinasabi niya rate, real estate, investment trust, mga kababayan, no? Okay, kasi hindi malakihan ang stake dyan, no? Pwede ka mag-start 500, 1,000 hanggang meron kang call. Ayan. So, okay, sundin natin lang, no? Ay yung advice ito. Never talaga single investment, no? Okay, never. Huwag po gawin. Okay, tuloy natin si Robert Kiyosaki.
Private equity funds, which are basically only available to accredited investors who have met certain criteria. Number 5, content. Do you know what you can also leverage on your knowledge and skills to earn passive income? You can get paid while sitting at home when people make use of the intellectual property you've created. This doesn't mean content creation is easy. It can be a lot of work, especially if you intend to reach and engage a large audience for income generation. If you are patient and zealous enough, once you've created something that gets people's attention, it will be easier to generate revenue. This could be through display advertisements or running sponsored content. This way, several companies and business owners will have to pay you a fee in order to publish a post on your blog. You can also earn through affiliate marketing. This allows you to get certain commissions if your readers purchase a product or service you've recommended or linked to. You should keep in mind that you need to be consistent. Once you've decided to take up content creation, you have to keep updating what you have in order to keep it viable. To earn from passive investments, you don't have to always put in so much time, energy, and resources. The major task goes in at the initial stage, but subsequently less effort is required. That is what makes it different and unique from active income streams. However, you must understand that passive income requires relevant knowledge and proper research for you to earn massively. Never forget the 2 most paramount rules of investment. Number 1, never invest or venture into anything you do not perfectly understand. And the second rule is to never forget the first rule. It's not too late to start investing in these cash flow assets. This is 2023. Start now. To my bonus tip, you might want to become financially independent earlier than expected and stop depending on your 9-to-5 job. Well, here are some ways you can achieve that. Have a high-yield savings account. Always remember to pay yourself first. This goes beyond having a jar where you put money with no interest at the end. Open a high-yield savings account that pays you for saving. By doing this, you can be sure that your money isn't just lying somewhere dormant and losing value. Also, do away with debt as fast as you can. If you have debt hanging around your neck, it is near impossible to be financially stable. Always try to clear your debt, starting with the highest interest loans. Once you're cleared, you can be sure that you'll have more money to save and pay your bills as well. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and watch out for the next video.
Okay, sa sunod ang pag-aralan natin, sandali lang. Okay, para financial, makakaintindi ba sa financial education, no? Okay. Turuan natin mga kapwa natin. Huwag tayo, huwag tayo sakim. Gusto natin ang kapwa natin ay maayos ang buhay din, no? Ayan.
Ang Bureau Administration Opinion Balita at Ibahan ay makalakay sa naisip ang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapapinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang pinatanggihan, at walang pinapamigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, itong tinuturo nila, makikita natin sa musap, ano? Okay, kung saan po yung mga halal. Okay, halal stock po mga kababayan, no? Ang mga fixed income investment. Makikita natin doon yun. Ito comparative lang, no? Okay, pag-aaral natin sa comparative band, makakuha tayong knowledge sa kanila, no? Okay, simple saving tips. Sige, pakinggan natin ito. Okay, matulog. Okay? Dapat bawasan mo ang tulog.
And that's relatively easy. I did it myself for the day I finally, of course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course by trying to get it around. But it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself,
Warren Buffett is right. It is relatively easy, but why does it always seem so hard? Why is it that Warren Buffett was able to get insanely rich to the point of being the 5th richest person in the world, yet so many of us struggle to even just stop living paycheck to paycheck? To continue the mantra of Warren Buffett, simplicity is the key. So today, I'm going to share Warren Buffett's 19 of the easiest frugal living tips that you can start today, so that you can start living and building wealth like Warren Buffett. It all starts with this. Number 1, go brandless. Here's a question for you. How often do you see Warren Buffett with anything branded? The only things I've ever seen him use that are branded are Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and his car. There's actually something very unique about his car, and we'll touch on that later in the video. Outside of those brands, however, he doesn't seem to use any other brands. In fact, his suits are from a solo entrepreneur suit maker named Madam Lee, who fitted him once for suits, and he's stuck with her ever since. Then it dawned on me. He utilizes a very easy frugal living tip to help him lower his expenses. He never buys anything branded unless it's backed by a discounted price and serves the purpose he's looking for. I started using this myself by buying no-name medication and sticking to brandless foods at the store, and I noticed how much lower my expenses were every month. It's worth the change. Number 2, have an emergency fund. You can't have real security in life if you don't have an emergency fund. The famous quote by Buffett, "Don't save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving," really says everything you need to know. Saving is what will protect you from any emergencies that happen that could topple your finances entirely. In fact, Warren Buffett practices this in his own business at Berkshire Hathaway, which has a lot of cash reserves in case things don't go as planned. The best part is that it's easy to do since you can set up automatic payments. I just got 15% of my checks to go into a separate account, and before I knew it, I was covering 6 months of my expenses and could sleep easier at night. Number 3, start borrowing. But doesn't Warren Buffett say not to borrow money? No, not that kind of borrowing. But borrow things that you normally buy, but don't need for extended periods. For example, if you like to read, but don't read books more than once, then maybe borrowing from the library is a good idea. This is something I do often. Another thing could be borrowing things that you don't plan on using for long, like baby toys or cribs. Funnily enough, Warren Buffett borrowed a crib when his 3rd kid was born, since it was a waste to have another one that he wouldn't need in just a few years. Borrowing is just as easy as buying, so it's a great frugal habit to start today. Number 4, be patient.
so you might not swing for 6 months. You might not swing for 2 years. Isn't that boring? It would bore most people, and certainly boredom is a problem with most professional money managers. If they try to sit out an inning or two, not only do they get somewhat antsy, but their clients will start yelling, swing you from.
According to Buffett, the number 1 downfall of money managers is this: the inability to wait for a good opportunity. However, if we compare Buffett's success to most money managers, many of them are unknown, while he's considered the best investor in the world. I realized quickly that patience is what allowed him to do that, and it's also unbelievably simple. What could be easier than waiting instead of doing something? Doing things takes energy, while waiting doesn't. I decided to take this frugal tip from Buffett and use it to wait before I buy things. I always like to wait at least 3 days, and when I do that, I noticed how much less things I buy and how much happier I feel. Number 5. Use your city's website. Your city is a treasure trove of amazing things, and you can easily find it on their website. You may be wondering what this has to do with Warren Buffett and easy frugal living tips, but let me explain. Warren Buffett lives in Omaha, which is relatively small and an unknown place, yet he still finds things to do and doesn't overspend his money in the slightest. Surprisingly to some of you, if you take the time to see what's happening in your city, you'll come across all sorts of amazing events, many of which are totally free of charge. This is easy enough considering that you usually plan events to gather for. So why not make it easier for you and have the event already set up? All you need to do is attend and not spend a single cent. Number 6, don't upgrade your tech. A viral video from Warren Buffett circulated when people found out he was neither a Samsung nor an Apple person. Instead, he used an old flip phone, which people haven't seen for years since the onset of smartphones. To him, all he cared about was functionality. If he could have contact with the people he needed to contact, that was good enough. It's really easy to implement this, as all you need to do is wait until your tech actually needs an upgrade, instead of buying one with every new release. Number 7, learn cheap hobbies.
With your resources, you can do anything you wanted in the world to entertain yourself. Why bridge?
Bridge is the most interesting game in the world. It's true that I can do almost anything. I can have a big boat someplace and go off to faraway islands. And there's nothing I enjoy more than playing bridge. I play bridge a lot.
Bridge is an old card game, which, as many of you can imagine, only costs a deck of cards. With the advent of the internet, hobbies seem to be more and more expensive with the gear and equipment needed. However, learning an inexpensive hobby can change your finances. This frugal living tip is super easy, as all you need to do is pick something up that's cheap, like learning to draw. In fact, this is the hobby I picked up, and all I needed was a pencil and some paper. Number 8, only eat out if it's cheap. You all know that Warren Buffett eats like a 6-year-old. Actually, that's how Warren bases his diet, as he says that the mortality rate of a 6-year-old is the lowest. So you won't find him spending hundreds of dollars on caviar or some other expensive items. This is a really easy frugal living tip to start cooking at home. It may be a bit harder than ordering takeout, but once you start cooking for yourself, you'll realize how easy it actually is and how much money you'll save. Number 9, save your money. This one's a no, but there's more to it than it seems. There's actually 2 reasons to save money. One we mentioned before, which was to build an emergency fund, and the other we'll share later in the video. However, Warren Buffett was always a big saver, and now he's the 5th richest person in the world because of it. It's also never been easier, as you can easily set up automatic payments so you don't even have to think about saving. Number 10, invest in yourself.
The best investment, by far, is anything that develops yourself. Okay, not tax.
Just as he said, investing in yourself is the best investment you could ever make. It's also one of the easiest frugal living tips, largely because it's enjoyable to do things for yourself and things that you like to do. I don't know about you, but I really love learning. So reading books and taking courses to help me grow and gain professional skills is a treat. It's something that I like to do in my own time. And not only do I spend money the best possible way, but it's also allowed me to make a solid career change to bring in more cash. Number 11, be a coupon user. A well-known anecdote from Warren Buffett is that when he was traveling abroad with his good friend Bill Gates, Buffett bought himself and Bill McDonald's entirely through coupons. While this seems incredibly cheap, there's a good lesson to learn. If you can buy on sale, then do it. Coupons are one of the best ways to get items on sale. There are tons of apps that offer coupons, like Ibotta, which just makes it easier to practice this frugal tip. Number 12, invest your money. The other fantastic way to save money, but more importantly, to build wealth, is through investing. This is what Warren Buffett is famous for and what's got him to the position he's in today. The truth is, it's easy to get rich quick. This is a direct quote from Buffett. So applying the mentality of long-term investing is the key to true and sustainable riches. One of the best ways to invest is through dollar cost averaging, as it's extremely simple. It can be automated, and your money will grow greatly over time. Number 13, own a used car. It seems like Warren Buffett has never owned a new car, but the reason why is surprising. In one of Berkshire Hathaway's shareholder meetings, he said nothing about the expenses of the car, but of functionality. To him, he just wanted a safe car. A new car meant nothing to him because there were tons of used cars that offered the exact same things. It's an extremely easy way to think, but it's a frugal tip that will allow you to make the most of your money. Basically, if you can get the same functionality from a used item and the new one, buy the used one. Number 14, use cash.
What's in your wallet right now?
I'd say about probably $400 or $500.
$400 or $500
Something like that.
in cash.
Yeah.
Is that what you're always carrying?
I generally carry something like that.
Okay, maybe $400 is excessive for most of us, but let's dive deeper into this frugal tip. Some people may say it's not easy to have cash because you need to take it out of the bank. But there's another way you can benefit from cash without the effort. Only use your debit card for purchases, as that's cash that you physically own. If you want to be like Buffett and stay debt-free, switch to that debit card and use cash. Number 15, don't lose money. Warren has one rule when it comes to money. Rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. This almost seems too easy, but if it was, then everyone would be doing it, right? Well, sometimes too easy is actually hard for some, but that's just a mindset. When it comes to expenses and budgeting, make sure that whatever you're buying is actually giving you value greater than you spend. A way to test this is to consider how much you plan on using that item every week. If it's only used once a week or less, it's likely not worth it. Typically, you want an item that you'll reach for 80% of the time when you need it to give you good value. Number 16, wait for a sale. You don't have to buy an item just because you want it. If it's an item you know you'll need in the future, wait until a sale pops up. There's always going to be a sale. In fact, Warren Buffett's investment strategy revolved around buying companies that are at a discount. If it's cheap and it's good, then it's the perfect time. Number 17, don't buy what you don't expect to still use in 10 years. If you look through the room you're in right now, how many items do you expect to still want to use 10 years from now? This mentality is excellent for making purchases that'll give you your money's worth. It's actually something Buffett practices every day, both when buying stocks and general living. I use this frugal tip in my daily life as it's so easy. All I have to do is ask a question, and depending on the answer, I either buy or don't buy. And most of the time, I don't. Number 18, have a home that fits your life.
This fall, I will have been at 55 years, and it's been, it's the best investment with the exception of those 2 wedding rings that I made.
It's important to live within your means, and Warren Buffett has mastered that. While many people are hung up on getting bigger and bigger houses, Buffett just stayed in the one he was in and slowly upgraded it as time went on. However, a home itself is not the best investment from a money standpoint, so approaching it frugally is the key. Fortunately, it's very simple. If it's a home that you can easily afford, meaning it's not greater than 30% of your income, and it fits your lifestyle, then it's a home to stay in. Number 19, enjoy moments over expenses. Moments are what we spend money for, but it's easy to forget that. Buffett said in an interview, "And why do I get up every day and jump out of bed and I'm excited at 88? It's because I love what I do, and I love the people I do it with." When looking for easy, frugal habits, focus on spending time with people outside of having to spend. For example, invite friends over to your home and make dinner together and play board games instead of going to a restaurant or partying at the club. It's cheaper and you'll have tons of loving memories.
Ayan. Okay, marami tayo natutunan na. So, ganun pong ngali po ng pinakamayaman sa daigdig Okay, panglima, pinakamayaman po mga kababayan. No? Okay. So yun. Gayahin niyo po mga kababayan. No?
Ang buong administration pinyong balita at iba ay tumatalakay sa may subang kasalukuyan at nakarapan. Mga politika, mga opinyon, mga komentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang pinapanggihan, at walang pinapanggihan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, ang oras natin, 45 minutos po pasado alas 8. Magkalas 9 naman, no? Okay, balita tayo, amendment to Magna Carta of the Poor, IRR, gets solemn support. Okay, Senator Christopher Lawrence Go. Okay, the amendment being made to the Implementing Rules and Regulation, IIR, okay, the Republic Act, RA 1129, or the Magna Carta of the Poor, okay, will significantly bolster the government effort to uplift the lives of millions of impoverished Filipinos. Senator Christopher Lawrence Go said on Wednesday. Okay, in a news release, Go said, we believe that move aims to align the laws IIR, okay, to the poverty reduction plan of the Marcos administration. No? Okay, para mag-guarantee din natin ang karapatan ng mahihirap natin, mga kababayan. Okay, pagdating po, okay, na sapat na pagkain, okay, disenteng trabaho, edukasyon, at pabahay upang mas maging akma ito, okay, sa panahon ngayon. Ayan. Kailangan po may harmonize po itong anti-poverty program to guarantee the right of our poor countrymen when it comes to enough foods, decent job, education, and housing, so it fits with the current time. This anti-poverty program should be harmonized, he said. Okay, bilang senador ay suportado ko po ang anumang hakbang o programa ng gobyerno ay na mapapabuti po ang kabuhayan po ng kababayan natin Pilipino. Lalong-lalo na po ang mahihirap. As a senator, I support any step or program of the governments that aim to improve the lives of our countrymen, especially the poor. Signed into law by former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in 2020, Republic Act 1191 aims to provide a comprehensive framework for addressing poverty-related concerns. The National Anti-Poverty Commission expects to finish the amendments on the laws, IIR, by the end of the month. It will specify details on its implementation under the National Poverty Reduction Plan and the local government units, Local Poverty Reduction Action Plan. The Marcos administration sees the implementation of Republic Act 11 to 91 as a mean to bring down the country's poverty incidence from 18.1% in 2021 to 8.8% to 9% by 2028. So yan ang plano po, okay, ng gobyerno po ng Marcos administration, mga sabi na. Okay. Ang oras, okay, 49 po ay pasado alas 8, no? Okay, ito po.
Ang Bureau Administration Piling Balita at Ibabahan ay tumatalay sa may subang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Makapolitika, makaopinyon, komentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang pinapanggihan at walang pinapanggihan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa makahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, tingnan nga natin na $1,000 passive income. Paano makuha ito ni Warren Buffett, mga kababayan? No? Okay, paano makuha niya? Ayan. Subukan natin, no?
It's a question of how much cash it's going to give you. That's the only reason. It's true if you're buying a farm. It's true if you're buying an apartment house. Any financial asset. Oil in the ground. You're laying out cash now to get more cash back later on. And the question is how much are you going to get? When are you going to get it? The only reason for making an investment and laying out money now is to get more money later on, right? That's what investing is all about.
It seems so simple when you hear the legendary Warren Buffett say that the point of investing is to make more money. And while tons of people have succeeded in growing their wealth with passive income, it still seems so elusive. In fact, passive income is actually the key to wealth building. So what can you do? Funnily enough, it actually is really simple. It's the dream of people like you and me to not have to work and to be able to travel to a city like Paris or Tokyo or go attend every single baseball or football game that your kid plays instead of every other one, and finally take up that hobby that you've always wanted to. It all starts with this one thing. When you have $1,000 saved up, you want to take that money and make it work for you. The way you do this is through passive income. There are two main ways to do this. The first is to create a money-working machine like a business. For example, you can make a food stand, and over time, this can grow into a business where you can step away while it generates money for you. The other, more popular way is to put your money into money machines that are already working, meaning you literally have to do zero work while your money makes money for you. There's a big myth surrounding passive income, however. It's that you have to be wealthy and have a ton of money to make any use of this. But I'll show you in this video how that's totally inaccurate. In this video, you're going to find out the top 7 passive income cash flow assets, according to Buffett, that'll make you rich in no time. And it starts with this. Number 1, dividend investing.
The answer is I do believe in dividends in great many situations, including many of the ones companies in which we own stock.
When it comes to stocks, you're doing more than just purchasing shares and having them in your brokerage account. You're actually owning a tiny fragment of that business, and it's represented by the share of stock that you own. For instance, if you buy a share of Coca-Cola, you own a small portion of the company represented by the share. Some companies, like Coca-Cola, actually pay the shareholders, people like you, dividends, which are nothing other than the money given to you for owning the stock. You may be wondering, what's the catch? Well, there are 3 things companies do when they have excess profits. Either they save it for emergencies, invest in future growth through new products, services, or storefronts, or they pay their shareholders. Turns out there isn't a catch at all. What's paid to you is yours for you to keep. This money is money you can do whatever you want with. Most companies will pay their shareholders quarterly or every 3 months, but there are cases where yearly and monthly payouts happen as well. Let's look at a few examples to show you how it works with $1,000. The first example is Coca-Cola, which has a current annual dividend rate of 2.99%. That means If you invested $1,000, you'd make about $29.9 by the end of the year. The second is Citigroup, with a dividend rate of 4.46%. This would give you a return of $44.60 at the end of the year. The last is Vitesse Energy, which has a dividend rate of 8.96%, which would give you a return of $89.60. You may feel like these numbers are super small and meaningless, but think about this. Sure, it won't make you a millionaire overnight, but what's better? Wasting this money for nothing useful, or having $1,000 give you back money for literally doing nothing. The thing is that while this money isn't life-changing, it's the foundation for building wealth. And the more money you put into this passive income, the more you'll make at the end, even reaching for $1,000 or even more dollars every month. Number 2, index funds.
Pointed out that if you put $10,000 in an index fund that reinvested dividends, and I paused for a moment to let the audience try and guess how much it amounted to, it would come to $51 million now.
That's pretty crazy, right? Imagine becoming a millionaire by putting your money in an index fund and doing nothing with it. It's amazing to think that you could become so rich, like Warren Buffett said, just by living your life. Turns out, it's easier than ever to find a handful of amazing low-cost index funds that can generate amazing returns for you if you just hold on to them and keep investing. Let's have a look. The first is VOO, which is an index fund that represents the general market. It's a basket of the top 500 companies in the USA. From its creation in 2010, it's grown a total of 387.14% and has a current dividend yield of 1.58%. With $1,000, you'd make $15.80 at the end of the year, which is pretty good. The second is B&Q, which focuses primarily on REITs. And if you don't know what that is, keep watching because we'll get into it later in the video. The dividend yield is currently 4.23%, meaning that $1,000 would generate $42.3 at the end of the year. Lastly, there's VYM, which focuses primarily on high dividend paying stocks. As of right now, it has a dividend yield of 3.2%, which would generate $32 from $1,000 at the end of the year. These are not life-changing numbers, but what's easier than throwing your money in funds and forgetting about them while your money grows? If you're uncertain, just remember this Warren Buffett quote: if you can't find a way to make money while you sleep, you are going to work until you die. Number 3, REITs.
They think that because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it.
It's biologically hard for people to sit still and do nothing. While this may be useful for work, it backfires hugely when it comes to passive investing, especially for things like REITs or real estate investment trusts. It's amazing, but sitting still is what allowed Warren Buffett to get rich. While these investment vehicles are directly tied to real estate, there are some fundamental differences. This prompts me to say something really important. Real estate, as you likely know, is when you buy a home and rent it out to tenants. This can make you some amazing passive income, but with a few downsides. Firstly, you need a lot more than $1,000 to start. And secondly, you have to deal with tenants, which can be very stressful and not passive. So how do REITs fit into all of this? REITs allow you to forget about having large capital, and you don't have to deal with tenants. Instead, you invest in companies that invest in real estate, meaning that all the hard work is done for you, but you enjoy the profits. A fun fact is that these companies are actually required by law to pay 90% of their profits to their shareholders, meaning that all the money they make from rent will go to you as the shareholder. A few examples are OR Realty Income Corp. Currently, it pays 5% dividend yield. But the special thing about this company is that it's had 25 years of consecutive dividend increases. It would turn your $1,000 into $50 after a year. DEA is another one that has 7.8% yield. It would result in you having $78 from a year of $1,000 investment. You may be set on only looking for the highest dividend paying REITs, but here's an important thing to note. The higher the dividends are, the riskier and more unstable they become. So, it's important to do proper research. For instance, a company could be sitting at $50 a share with a dividend of 5%. However, they may have really bad financials and be close to bankruptcy. This sparks people to sell off and the price drops to $15. They keep the high dividend of $5, which may make you think that it's a great opportunity. Sure, you may get some nice dividends, but you end up losing more money because if the company goes bankrupt, you essentially lose your shares, which results in net loss. The other thing that could happen is they stop paying dividends and you're left with a dud stock. Fortunately, there is a really safe option that has one amazing benefit. Number 4, municipal bonds. Cities and states don't usually use the cash that they have to build roads, schools, transportation, or police systems. A lot of it is from tax, and even more is from loans. Funnily enough, it's not the city that loans, but people who loan to the city. This is done through bonds. Essentially, you loan a city money and they pay you back that money with interest over a fixed period of time. The minimum amount required is usually $1,000, which is a great way to get started with this passive income method. Before I get into the dividend yield, I want to share something useful. Taxes aren't something anyone likes to pay, right? You work hard, and the harder you work, the more money you make, the more you're taxed. That's not fair, right? Well, municipal bond payments are tax-free. That means any money that's generated from them, you don't have to pay taxes on. While this isn't a super huge deal with $1,000, it can make a massive difference when you eventually become wealthy. The catch is that you need to live in the city that you own the bond in to avoid these taxes. For example, if you buy FNYQX, which is the New York State bond, and you live in New York, then with the current dividend yield at 2.73%, you'd be taxed $0 on any income made from it. So, if you want to avoid taxes and generate passive income easily at the same time, this is the way to go. Number 5, crowdfunding real estate. This is very similar to REITs with one difference. Instead of investing in a company, you skip the middleman and invest in a fund that has a direct exposure to the real estate itself. With crowdfunding, you need to find a third-party website like fundrise.com. The average return, according to the website, is about 8 to 12%, but there are some things to consider. Namely, this percentage is both appreciation of the assets and dividend payments. The great part is that you can invest $1,000 and have direct access to real estate instead of spending hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Number 6, peer-to-peer lending. Did you know that you can be a bank without being a bank? Impossible, you say? Let me show you how. Peer-to-peer lending is essentially skipping the bank to give loans. In other words, if you need $1,000, I could loan it to you, and you'd pay it back to me with interest over a period of time. You can, of course, do this with a contract between you and someone else, but this method isn't as passive as you have to formulate a contract, keep track of the investment, and then deal with any other legal issues. The easier and better way is to use a platform like Lending Club. As of today, Lending Club boasts a return of 14% annually, but there are some things to consider. Firstly, they say to use an 8% margin of error to account for default payments and loaners paying off their loans early. Secondly, to remove 1% for the commission to keep the platform running. After the calculations, you can expect about a 5% return, meaning you'd make $50 by the end of the year with $1,000. This is an excellent option to diversify. Number 7, rent out your home. Do you ever have times when you're not home for a weekend or even several weeks? Wouldn't it be great if you could utilize it somehow? I mean, even Warren Buffett likes to make the most of what he has, so why wouldn't you? Turns out, there is something you can do, and it's easier to do now than ever before. You can think about renting out your home or some rooms in your home while you're gone for extra passive income. For example, you can list your home on Airbnb if you know you're going away so that it can make some money for you while you enjoy a trip. Another option is to rent out a room for a long-term rental if you don't mind living with other people. This can drastically reduce home prices, meaning you can earn passive income without changing anything. Funnily enough, you don't even need $1,000 since you already own the place. And what's really amazing is this. If you live in a good area, you can easily make $200 to $300 renting out your home a night. That's awesome, isn't it?
Okay. kuha tayo ng pag-aralan, no? Okay, maka-learn tayo. Ayan. So, rate, index funds. Okay, maintindihan po natin dito sa gabing ito, no? Rate, yung real estate investment trust, no? Ayan.
Ang Program Administration Pinyong Balita at Ibabahan ay tumatalakay sa naisipang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Makapolitika, makaopinyon, makakomentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y patas sa lahat. Walang pinigilan, walang pinakanggihan at walang pinapamigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa makahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, tama ng hanap buhay, bukas naman mga suki. Okay, parinig natin ito and then i-close natin ang programa. No? Okay, paalam tayo sa gabi ito dito sa programa natin panggabi na. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, dito po sa Halo-Halo Special. Okay, opinion, balita at iba pa. Okay, marami tayong natutunan po rito, no? Okay, mag-rate, mag-index fund. Ayan. Puro ay mabuhay tayo ng maayos, no? Okay. Okay, dito po sa programa Halo-Halo Special, opinion, balita at iba ma. Maraming tayong natutunan. Okay. Kasama po sa serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan. Okay. Pati na rin participation ng mamamayan. Okay, mga text nila, no? Maraming nga text, oh. Ayan. Maraming text. Ayan, basahin ko. After programa, no? Hindi ko mabasa po pag nasa microphone ako. Okay. Okay, wala tayong masamang tinapay. Puro kabutihan ang ginawa natin, no? Okay, may advice sa akin, huwag na raw ako mag-attack, no? Okay, hindi na raw. Okay, magbalita lang ako ng katulad dito. Okay raw sa kanila. Huwag lang ako mag-attack, no? Okay. Ayan. So, this has been Abs naman lamang po, no? Bye-bye na. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala.
Ang Program Administration Pinyong Balita at Ibabahan ay tumatalakay sa naisipang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Makapolitika, makaopinyon, makakomentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y patas sa lahat. Walang pinigilan, walang pinakanggihan at walang pinapamigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa makahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, ilang corporation na nahawakan ko, no? Dalawa na. Ayan. So, okay. Ito po. Tapos na. Okay.